Melanie, thank you very much for agreeing to meet, and it's very good to see the Interlink offices. We're going to talk today a little bit about staffing and how you go about the process from beginning to end of deciding on the particular roles you want, and then how you would go about appointing somebody and supporting them.
If we were to say our admin worker was to leave and we want a new admin worker, so I suppose the first point is identifying that we need an admin worker. But the second would be probably in the first place the director might think about what she needs and whether she needs to change the job. We will have a job description and a person spec. So she'll look at that. She might ask advice from the other workers individually, and she might then pass it through the team meeting. We have regular team meetings, so there'll be plenty of opportunities to have for people to feed in what they see as important. Then it will go out to ad, and it would usually be advertised depending on a role like an admin worker. We would need somebody who knows the community quite well. Alongside that, there might be people that we think it might be interesting for them to apply. So we might say, would you like to apply? We think you might be good, but you'll have to go through the process, and so that would widen our scope and make sure that people that might not necessarily have seen the ad have the opportunity. The application process will be the same as wherever in the voluntary sector. So we would make sure that there's at least one person from the organisation, a trustee, the director probably. It might be, and it might be somebody else that we could use, for instance, an organisation, a member organisation who has recently, they've been through this process, and we have often used that.
So that's been the skills of others.
So we're using the skills because we work so closely with them. So we're using their skills. Or we might want somebody. We work closely with a CVS, a Council for Voluntary Services. We might ask for their help. Then they would have an induction process, which would usually be partially the director. Well, it could be a number of things. Probably the director might be, there might be another admin worker who could be part of that process, and then she'll be introduced to the other workers. We work very much as a team, so we will involve them as much as possible from the beginning. They'll arrive, we have team meetings on a regular basis. They'll come to the first team meeting, they'll be absolutely lost, but we encourage them to ask questions. We want to take people who are motivated, who can learn quickly and can be flexible. We found that from the past. So people usually like to work for our organisation. We've got a good reputation, so we don't have. Having said that, I was going to be smug and say we don't have a shortage of people applying, but that's not always the case. So they'll come to the team meetings. As soon as they can, we'll try and get them to write the minutes. Yeah. So that's one of the ways of getting into it. And there'll always be somebody who can help. Yeah. They don't see it as a 9-to-5 job. They see it as much more than that. They're also, often the people we recruit will themselves be part of, they might be volunteering for other groups, and often these groups are our member groups, so they're highly motivated because they know what a voluntary organisation is. It's part and parcel of the ethos of our faith, of giving to others, and so they're part and parcel of that. So it fits very well with an organisation that's going to build the capacity of other organisations. So they quickly get into the ethos, if you like. They share and they feel a shared ownership, I think. The ethos of the organisation is that we give people opportunities to grow, so they might start off as an admin worker, but we might discover that they've got a particular skill. There was one person who had a very good skill of graphic art, and she developed leaflets and brochures and all kinds of things for different organisations and for our own organisation. So we do utilise the skills that the workers have.
And you budget for that too, don't you, in terms of your training for the staff?
Yes,
yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
We try and encourage them to have training. Yeah.
Which is quite a commitment from the organisation, isn't it, to actually put in a budget for staff when finances are very tight quite often, but actually to have a budget for staff training really pays off, would you say?
I think so.
That's why it's so important too to get the recruitment process right, because that's expensive in itself too, isn't it?
I think it's expensive. It's time if you get it wrong, and we have got it wrong. We do have a trial period. I think it's about 3 months, so where both sides can change their mind, and it has happened. In our experience, even if you know somebody, you can't just take them like that. First of all, it's not equal. It's not equal opportunities, but also you never know. You only know part of a person, and when they come working for you, you discover other things. And also somebody might be highly recommended to you, but there might be somebody better.
No, absolutely, yeah. So as you say, having that kind of slightly broader approach to appointing people gives everybody that fair opportunity.
And it's very good you've got that mix of those that have been here for a long time, so there's that stability, with new blood, which always brings, if you've got an environment where people want to learn, are willing to learn, willing to acknowledge their mistakes and pick up from there, then that's a good environment.
Fantastic working environment, isn't it?
Yeah,
yes.
I think
Thank
so.
you very much for sharing all of that with us.
Okay,
Thank
my
you very
pleasure.
much. Thank you, Melanie.